Hi guys, my name is Alexander Ronalds. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Auki Labs. Today I'm here to talk to you about Augmented Manifest Destiny and how we're going to reclaim ownership of the mirror world. Okay guys, so this is a picture of the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and the Statue of Liberty in the early days of March 2023. Notice anything unusual. Louis Vuitton's signature polka dots crawled across a global landmarks in augmented reality. Through Snapchat's landmarker lenses, powered by Snap's centralized visual positioning system, Louis Vuitton, in partnership with artist Yayao Kasuma, unleashed an advertising campaign at the rebranded our shared cultural landmarks in the realm of augmented reality. To the naked eye, the monument stood unchanged. But for over 250 million users who use Snapchat's AR features on a daily basis, a cultural piece of humanity became a canvas of the luxury and a billboard for the powerful, subtly blurring the line between public memory and private branding. A luxury brand, a tech platform, and an artist monetize the visual layer of a national monument without paying the city that maintains it. So there are no established laws that govern ownership in the mirrored world. It is the Wild West. There are no established laws that govern who has the right to overlay content on top of real-world locations, objects, and even people. The reality is that visual positioning systems is what creates ownership in the AR world. In augmented reality, control doesn't come from owning land. It comes from owning visual positioning data of any given location. Visual positioning systems, VPSs, let AR platforms anchor digital content to precise physical coordinates. Whoever has a VPS map of a location effectively has carte blanche to do whatever they like with that digital twin. They have the uncontested ability to moderate what appears in AR when someone looks through a lens on their respective platforms. In this new reality, the owner of place isn't the one who holds the deed, it's the one that controls the visual positioning data, the VPS maps that anchor digital content to physical coordinates. If you own the VPS data layer of the Eiffel Tower, you decide what shows up in AR, even if the city of Paris doesn't approve. So, centralized VPS owners are really the quiet landlords of augmented reality. They are turning where we move, look, and interact into monetizable visual positioning data stored in centralized systems they control. These platforms collect micro movements where people look, walk, pause, point, and interact. They're building a precise digital twin of our physical world down to the centimeter level accuracy. Niantic does this through games like Pokemon Go. As you walk, battle, catch, and spin a Pokestop, your phone's GPS, camera, and motion sensors record where you are, what you're looking at, and how long you stay. It's all wrapped in the fun of exploration while building 3D maps of parks, plazas, and landmarks for Niantic's VPS. If you integrate their Lightship VPS into your app, you're agreeing that users' devices may capture and send images without your consent. Snapchat has over 250 million people that use their AR experiences on a daily basis. Every time that somebody uses an AR lens on one of their uses an AR lens in Snapchat, they're sending data back to the central VPS with also cultural sentiment as to what that person's emotion was at the time. Basically blending cultural sentiment with geographical location. Meta, via Instagram filters and Ray-Ban smart glasses, captures first-person views of everyday life, your gaze, gestures, surroundings, even audio. It's an immersive scan of what you see and say, stored and analyzed. Apple collects LiDAR and camera pose data every time someone uses iPhone AR features like Measure, Live View, or Apple Maps. Each scan contributes to a real-time mesh of the environment, which syncs to their VPS to refine landmark recognition and spatial awareness. All this data is funneled into a private, centralized VPS system. These companies are building and owning the digital twin to our world. They control access, usage rights, and monetization. No public oversight, no shared ownership, just private control over public space rebuilt in augmented reality. This is manifest destiny of the digital world. There we go. Okay, so digital twin data is being hoarded by these VPSs and has immense value beyond AR experience because it captures a high-fidelity, real-time model of human environments, making it usable across industries that depend on location, behavior, simulation, and infrastructure. The most obvious one of these to talk about is actually attention-based advertising. When you are wearing a pair of AR glasses and you walk through a mall, a supermarket, and you glance at a product, we'll take the example of a gentleman walking with his family through the mall and glancing at a lingerie store. Not entering it, not participating, not purchasing anything, but just glancing at it. This data about him and what he looked at is now part of his attention graph that can be used to solicit advertisements to him later. This gentleman could go home, be sitting on his couch with his daughter, who's using the shared family Netflix account, and all of a sudden, ads for lingerie could be targeted to him. Everybody's embarrassed. Not a fun time. In 2015, Facebook used aggregate geographical location data in order to, game developers use Facebook's aggregate geographic location data in order to access information about users and use that data in order to swing the 2016 election in the Canberra Analytica experience. So this data is incredibly, incredibly powerful. But also, the most powerful use of spatial data isn't just influencing human behavior, it's training AI behavior. We at Auki like to call this the great reversal. By combining video frames, 3D maps, and language annotations, this is a checkout counter. We can teach foundational models to understand environments like humans do, recognizing scenes, tracking objects over time, and planning context-aware actions. This is how we build language models that can interpret and execute real-world instructions, like walk to the back of the store and find the cereal aisle. It's the final boss of AI, grounding intelligence in physical space. Spatial data is also the bedrock of robotics. For machines to operate safely and intelligently, whether picking products in a warehouse, navigating streets, or avoiding your dog at home, they need more than just coordinates. They need real-time, shared spatial understanding of where objects are, how environments change, and how to move through them predictably. Visual positioning data, VPS data, accurate to the centimeter, enables this, unlocking autonomy, collaboration, and embodied intelligence in mass scale. But if we're not careful, well, there is a dystopian future here. Right now, 6 companies, Apple, Google, Meta, Niantic, Tesla, and Snap, have become the cartographers of our digital world. Every sidewalk, aisle, monument, person, and private place is scanned, tagged, and owned, not in the legal sense, but in the digital sense. They each have their own centralized VPS layers, a living, breathing, centimeter-accurate map of the world enriched with gaze data, behavioral heat maps, object interactions, and human movement trails. This isn't just geospatial data. This is what people see, desire, and do across physical space. So, what is the answer? The answer to us is decentralization and data ownership. Today, spatial data, the maps that AR and robotics depend on, is quietly being harvested and controlled by a handful of corporations. They own where we move, what we look at, and how those behaviors are monetized. This makes the AR layer of the world a private asset, not a public good. Decentralized physical networks offer a better way. Instead of contributing data to a centralized VPS you don't control, individuals and communities can own the data they generate. Spatial maps can be created, stored, and encrypted locally or on private edge servers. You decide who gets access and for what purposes. This unlocks a future where AR data isn't owned and siloed by a few large corporations. It's interoperable, respectful of privacy, and you can choose who you want to share your environment with and what app you want to share your environment with. You can revoke that access, you can collaborate on a shared map with your city, school, or neighborhood, and you can govern it together. It's not about open access to everyone, it's about meaningful control, local control, ownership that travels with you and your environment. Decentralization can transform spatial data infrastructure from closed corporate assets into a civic resource, a foundation for innovation, self-expression, and digital sovereignty. That's why we at Auki Labs are building the Pose Mesh, an open source decentralized perception network for the next 100 billion people, devices and AI. It's an external sense of space that robots, devices, and AI can connect to better understand the physical world. At Auki Labs, we believe that spatial computing is not just a new interface, it is a new standard for the internet itself. It's a new infrastructure layer for society, and we're building that layer on one core belief. The spaces we inhabit digitally should be as sovereign as the spaces we inhabit physically. The Pose Mesh supports a real-time, peer-to-peer coordinate system that lets devices understand where they are relative to one another. It's what allows multiple devices, phones, AR glasses, robots, to see the world together, to share visual positioning data, and to collaborate spatially in real time, all without phoning home to Snap or Meta. Instead of sending your environment data to centralized servers, the Pose Mesh allows that data to be created, stored, and shared in privacy-preserving ways, under your control. Our data storage options are endless, ranging from hosting your own edge server at home to using one of our active community nodes. You decide who can access it and for what purpose. With the Pose Mesh, you can transform your mixed fleet of robots, smart devices, and sensors into a unified intelligent system with collaborative and dynamic spatial awareness. Reduce complexity, simplify deployment, and extend the reach of your hybrid workforce. Connect AI to an external sense of space, granting your agents vision anchored in physical reality. Enable AI to understand critical environments and generate better intelligence from crowdsourced spatial data. So right now we have multiple products building on the Pose Mesh. We'd love for everybody here to come by our booth to come see them. Using our spatial computing network, one of the products we're demoing here at AWE is Go2. Go2 is an appless navigation solution that we have deployed here in the exhibition hall. All you have to do is scan one of the QR codes on the floor in the exhibition hall that looks like that graphic down there, and you will be open an appless experience that you can select what booth you are trying to go to, and it will navigate you to that booth in AR. Very cool. Cactus is also here. It's an application for retail venues that helps them use their spatial data to better optimize product placement and optimizes their workforce efficiency to directly increase their bottom lines. It's spatial, but retail, but spatial. And we also have our domain management tool live and available for download for anybody who is interested in using it. This will allow you to set up your own domain and sense of physical space in a privacy-preserving way in your own home or wherever you deem fit. We view the domain management tool as a huge strategic advantage for us because it allows anyone to quickly and easily set up their own digital twin or sense of spatial awareness in minutes on their phone. We also have a number of other developers that are working on the Pose Mesh on our platform. Alpha AI is a construction drone mapping company and delivery fly to earn with tokenomics. Basically, drones can scan a building for legal compliance and generate the spatial data and sense of space. Big Black Box is a mixed reality multiplayer game that uses real world locations and has digital collectibles and a prediction system. Mintra, who is here at AWE with us, creates an open source OS for smart glasses called Augmented OS. It's very cool. Come down to our booth and you can see that as well. And we have a number of other developers that are also building on this platform. Join us. The pose mesh isn't just a concept. It's live, it's deployed and growing. Join us and help us shape the future of the next protocol of the internet, which is spatial computing. If you're a developer, we are asking you to build on it. If you're a researcher, we're asking you to improve it. If you're an enthusiast, we would love for you to evangelize it. And if you're a city planner, a creator, a robotics, a team, let's adopt it and shape it. This is your protocol as much as it is ours. The Pose Mesh is live, it's free, it's permissionless, but it needs builders, it needs visionaries, it needs people like you. Great, thank you very much. Anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Yes, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hands. Great.
Okay, hi. Is the underlying VPS system also kind of open source, or is that part kind of your proprietary and then the data that is kind of shared?
Everything is, if it's not open source as of today, it will be open source by the end of the week. But we are a completely open source platform. There's just some things that we haven't pushed into the repo as of today.
Okay, so the actual core VPS system as well?
Yes.
Anyone else? Hi.
Thank you. I love this idea of the open source VPS, but I guess the motivation behind a lot of these companies for having the attention-based ads is for profit. So I'm curious, what is the profit model of your company?
I'm sorry, could you say it one more time? I missed the middle part of that.
I'm just asking what the profit model is of your company, since a lot of the motivation behind these attention-based ads for the companies you mentioned is just to make money.
Yeah, so we're an open source foundation. We are in fact tokenized. DPIN networks generally use a token to power the network itself. So when people want to use compute credits, they purchase tokens and we burn them to give them compute credits. The foundation, as tokens are burned and credits are created, the foundation makes money in that transaction.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
Really cool. When we talk about interoperability, and like you talked about the big six, like how do you get users to use the applications built on your network? Are they able to access some of the big tech hardware that we've seen displayed today? Or are you guys building everything has to be really open source, decentralized on your network to access?
Yeah, I mean, people can choose whether they want to be inoperable or not. We're not really concerned if some of the big six want to share that data with us. The people that we work with, for a number of reasons, want their data to be private. You saw that retail was one of our kind of verticals. Retail stores find their product placement information to be highly trade secretable. They don't allow it to be on any sort of cloud infrastructure anywhere. So something like the open source post mesh that they can host on edge is really powerful to them.
All right, we actually have a few minutes more if anyone wants to get the matrix download from. All right.
Hi. How precise are the localization maps? So for example, if you have a robot localizing, is it receiving like centimeter level accuracy? and compare that to maybe different headsets or platforms. Do they all achieve the same accuracy, or is it the native one that made the map that has the best accuracy?
We can achieve sub-centimeter level accuracy through our VPS. Like, you can record this environment on your iPhone, and it uses SLAM technology to create a point cloud. From there, you can then send it into the VPS to turn it into a dense point cloud, and that will give you sub-centimeter level accuracy.